Can Virginia lawmakers defend babies who survive abortion? Should infants born alive during a failed abortion receive medical care? How should Christians respond when legislators refuse to protect the most vulnerable? Here's the point. Last week, Virginia's House Health and Human Services Subcommittee voted 7-3 to recommend passing by indefinitely HB 531, effectively killing legislation that would require medical care for infants born alive during an abortion procedure. Every Democrat on the subcommittee voted to table the bill. Every Republican voted to advance it. The measure is now dead for this legislative session. Delegate Karen Hamilton introduced HB 531 with a simple premise. Any infant born alive, regardless of the circumstances, must receive the same medical care as any other newborn. The bill would have required immediate transfer to a hospital and imposed penalties on medical providers who fail to provide that care. This isn't controversial medicine. This is basic human dignity. Yet Virginia Democrats refuse to even allow a floor vote. Make no mistake, this reveals exactly where the culture of death and the party of death stands today. Not just pro-abortion, but opposed to protecting infants who have already been born after surviving murder. So how should Christians think about this? And here's the point. First, this vote reveals the radical nature of Virginia's new majority in power. Following the 2025 elections, Democrats solidified control of Virginia's legislature with the explicit promise to expand abortion access. But opposing born-alive protection goes beyond mere reproductive rights, in their words. It's refusing medical care to living, breathing infants outside the womb. Right now, 15 states have near total abortion bans. Another 10 states restrict abortion after 12 to 15 weeks. But 9 states, including California, Colorado, New Jersey, and Virginia, have virtually no gestational limits. In these states, abortion remains legal through all 9 months of pregnancy for essentially any reason. But Virginia's General Assembly isn't satisfied with unlimited abortion access. They're now blocking the most basic protection imaginable: care for babies, human beings, who survive abortion attempts. That's not moderation. That's extremism. Second, Virginia's position has drastically shifted in just 5 years. In 2020, Virginia still maintained its 26-week abortion limit, with exceptions only for severe fetal abnormalities or maternal health. The state required parental notification for minors and mandated informal consent with a 24-hour waiting period. Today, those protections are gone. In 2024, Virginia Democrats repealed virtually every abortion restriction on the books. Now abortion is legal through all 9 months. Parental notification eliminated. Informed consent gone. Waiting periods removed. Late-term restrictions abolished. Virginia went from a very bare minimum modicum of common sense protections to one of the most extreme abortion regimes in America in less than 5 years. And now the same legislators who eliminated these safeguards refuse to protect babies who are born alive. Adding to this radical shift, Virginia's legislature just passed a constitutional amendment enshrining abortion rights in the state constitution. It goes to voters to decide at the ballot box this year. And during those debates, Republicans attempted to add born-alive protections to the amendment. Democrats rejected every attempt. Third, we must understand why the pro-life movement is currently losing this battle. Since Dobbs overturned Roe, abortion has become the defining issue for Democratic voters. They're motivated, mobilized, and winning elections on this single issue. Meanwhile, many Republican candidates have softened their pro-life messaging, believing it's politically toxic and unwinnable. The result? States like Virginia, Ohio, and Michigan have seen abortion protections systematically dismantled. Ballot initiatives have passed in 7 states since 2022, enshrining abortion in state constitutions. Even Florida's 6-week ban barely survived. And that's Florida, not Virginia. We're losing because the culture of death is unified and the culture of life is divided. We're losing because the church has been largely silent. And we're losing because too many evangelical Christians are still on the sidelines and still don't vote. Make no mistake, Virginia's refusal to protect born-alive infants isn't just bad policy. It's evil. And evil only advances when good people do nothing. Christians must recognize what time it is. This isn't a temporary setback. It's a clarifying moment. The fight for life will be won or lost in the states, in the voting booth, and most importantly, in the hearts of God's people who refuse to be silent when silence means the loss of innocent life. So pray for Virginia. Pray for revival in this nation. And remember that only the gospel of Jesus Christ can change hearts and minds, but only politics will change law and policy for the unborn. Christians must do both. The fight isn't over, and the faithful don't quit.